Can you hear me?
Hey,
Can you hear me?
can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can't find you though, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. Hello, hello, hello. It's so good to see you. There you are. Now I have you.
Good to see you and your haircut.
Yay! Oh, I forgot to bring my certificate up here. Yeah, I got it today. So,
Oh, for the donation.
mhm.
I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah,
Yay.
yeah. So, how are you? How was Happy Mother's Day? How was
Oh,
the week?
happy Mother's Day to you too.
Thank
Week's
you.
been good. I just hammered down some lunch, so I feel like I should be standing up doing some squats while I talk to you, but
Got it. I
wouldn't
got
be
it.
the first time I do that.
Yeah, it's all right. Probably won't be the last. I love it.
Nope, nope, nope. But that movement after meals, I'll tell you what, it makes all the freaking difference in my digestion. Just
Mm-hmm.
like getting up and moving my human, doesn't have to be a long time, guys, 2 to 10 minutes. Just
Yeah.
move your person after you eat. I find when I don't do it, especially like if I have to jump on a call or something like that, I'll be yawning or trying to stifle a yawn. I'll be
Yeah.
like, um,
I haven't eaten yet, so I'm glad that you did. But I've been rushing today. We have a busy afternoon. We have to meet up with some nurses because it's the end of Nurses Week.
aw,
And then my son is getting like a really good big award tonight, so we have to go to some board meeting gala. So that's why I'm all fancy.
that's
But yeah, you're totally right. And I didn't start doing the movement after eating for a bit. Like I was a little late to the trend, but we have a very long driveway, and I've got it to the point that when we're done eating now, like when the dog will start to be like, "Hey, are we going now?" Like he likes to.
aw.
So he's on board with it, which I am
There you
totally
go.
grateful because it's like, all right, Matt, let's go. Let's like keep moving. Let the kid clean up. Like doesn't always happen, but it's nice. So yeah.
That's a nice thought. Wait, so you went away this weekend, right?
Yeah, we had to go to a wedding.
Oh,
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. Just, typical stuff like I overpacked, which is totally fine. Always do it anyways. But I was, very health conscious and I was very aware. So I am gluten free and dairy free, and I just am slowly reintroducing eggs. But the food Friday night was an issue. Like there was no food for anybody. But then once there was food, it was like, shit, I can't eat any of that anyway. So I had a very late night Friday. Yeah, that was a big problem. I feel so bad for those people, but they managed it. It worked out great. Like all was well in the end. Like as long as the bride and groom were happy, like we were happy. We were fine. We would figure it out. So yeah, so Friday night was difficult eating, but I had my snacks and I knew how to take care of myself. So like the pre-gaming with food was important and essential for me at that point. Um,
Pre-gaming has changed so much.
I know, really. But I don't know how you feel about plastic and like Ziplocs and that kind of stuff, but I've got my protein bags and I've got my vital proteins and I've got my minerals and I'm just like show up with my 150 baggies of all of my stuff. But you know what? I had what I needed to do to succeed for the weekend. I didn't feel hungry. I didn't feel left out, and I felt prepared. And I slept, and I had fun, and it was good. So I was happy with it. So and I was proud of myself. Give myself a little pat on the back for like taking care of me during that time. So, I think we get to a point, and I don't know how you feel about it, but like when it's time to go somewhere, like do you ever freak? Like, oh, do I have everything? Am I gonna use all this? Like,
So, I mean, I try to do what you're describing right now, which is like have my non-negotiables.
mm-hmm,
For me, my non-negotiables are what I put into my water every morning. So, trace minerals, pink salt, lemon, um, and depending on if I'm going to exercise in the morning, I'll bring my Kion aminos with me. So, those are like my non-negotiables, and I don't feel any which way packing those because it is what it is. Like it's coming with me because it changes the tone of my day so much if I skip that step. And I mean tone like both physically and mentally, because mentally it is me waking up saying I'm doing something positive for my body straight out of the gate. And so that mentally makes me feel very like proud of myself the second I put something in my human, which I think is a good way to start the day.
Yeah.
And, as far as physically goes, I know that I'm replacing some, minerals that I've lost while I was sleeping through sweat or through breathing or through, just tossing and turning like a maniac sometimes. But those things are breaking down in our bodies. And I want to make sure that I wake up rehydrated. That lemon juice is going to help me detox my body a little bit. Frankly, if I'm traveling, let's just call it what is the tox is usually a little bit higher than it should be. So
Mm-hmm.
my non-negotiables, I don't feel bad about it anymore. I used to like, you get kind of like health harassed. Like, what do you got over there? You had to pack all your lotions and potions.
Yes.
But the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
So, there's no shame in my game anymore. My poor in-laws, they probably find the weirdest baggies of like whatever, I've stored my salt in or something like that. There's like all little mystery baggies. I know what they are, but they're probably like, um,
Don't sniff it. That'll hurt.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. Just don't look at the lotions and potions. But yeah, I don't feel bad about that. Protein powder, it kind of depends. If I've got a protein bar that I feel pretty good about, I'll bring that one. And that just comes down to the fact that if I'm like, okay, if I'm going to pack my protein powder, then I'm probably going to pack the water bottle that I like to shake it in, or I'm going to have to pack like the little mixer jobby because I'm not going to stand there with a fork and like, so I'm probably a little bit less of a protein powder packer unless I'm traveling somewhere that I know is going to let me blend it up or shake it up quite easily. Um, but yeah, I don't feel bad anymore.
Yeah. Good. That's good. I just thought I was slightly amused by it. I think Matt knows better than to say anything these days about it, but I needed it and I wanted
Yeah,
it and I had it and it helped me feel like I had my shit together and that's really what
yeah.
mattered. So, yeah.
So run it down for the people that don't know why we would pack these things. Like run down. I just mentioned what I do in the morning, but give us a glimpse. Like you packed the things, and what were you doing with the things?
So, a lot like you, I brought my own lemon. So I had my lemon water. I put sea salt in my lemon water. I use the Redmond sea salt. And I actually have this cute little salad dressing container that I travel with my little salt container. But yeah, but whatever, it works for me. And I like that sea salt works for me. It's funny how there's the gray versus the pink. I'm
Yeah.
sure you probably have some but that's the one that I've been using. I also have trace minerals. I also have the 40,000 volt one because I actually distill my water. So I also packed water to bring with me to make sure I had enough water. So I had my distilled water. Um, if just like a little rabbit hole. So the reason I distill my water is because I know some of the pesticides that have been down on this ground. I know the things that are floating in the water. We have water that runs off a mountain into our well, and I don't trust the people above us. Like they're just, I have no idea what kind of stuff they're growing up there. So I'm like, whatever. I'm just gonna distill it. It works for me. And I actually had somebody tell me, why are you spending so much in supplements when you're drinking shitty water? I'm like, oh, excuse me. So I guess I have to do that now. So I really was very resistant to it at first. But then once I got into the hang of it, because it does take a little like, here's your water for the day. That's like the best you have. So I have a glass container on the counter and I just refill that and go from that for the day. So what else did I have? I've got my lemon, my salt. So I like to heat it up. I like to drink it like not hot, but lukewarm, just so that it's not shocking my system going in. I don't like cold water first thing in the morning. Some people like that refreshing. I don't. And then I had my minerals. I was doing the Vicon supplement blend. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of it, but it's from the hair tissue mineral people.
Hmm.
Um, I have paused that right now just because I'm having a little bit of some vertigo, so I wanted to pause that right now. And just give my body, I think I was stimulating my body too much, so I just needed to give a rest. But then I brought my protein, and I know you and I have talked about this before, but my protein, I actually do it as like a hot chocolate. So I gave up coffee because it was too stimulating in this perimenopause stage. I needed to bring the levels down for me. So I actually just heat up my water and then I stir in with my fork or my if I remember my spinner, and then I will have that. I brought an avocado because I know I needed, and I actually had pre-made ground turkey because
Okay.
I wasn't sure if we were going to be eating out or what we were doing. And that ground turkey, I had 2 containers of that. That saved my ass because when we came home that Friday night and I hadn't had any protein in, I don't know, 6, 7 hours. I'm like, I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna have my protein. I'm gonna have my avocado and some popcorn, and I was good. So I had to keep my protein up for the day, so that was good. I'm trying to think what else isn't. Of course I've had my supplements like my sunflower lecithin to help with my bile. I'm trying to think. I do take DAO occasionally if I'm having leftovers, like when I had the turkey, just because my system is compromised. Have you ever done oh, we've talked about this before, the 23andMe? Have you ever done your genes? Oh yeah, we've talked about that. But anyways, my genes show that my body is really slow, which it's I didn't need to do the test to tell him that because I was having that right upper quad pain, which we needed to follow up on your dad, by the way. So it was my upper stomach pain, and that has since resolved since all of this. I haven't had it in a really long time. So the bile is flowing, liver seems to be happy. So I don't know that I had much more in my little goodie bag, but yeah, I went prepared and I didn't bring that much home. I did have some Fritos, which were fabulous. Yeah, that was a nice little treat. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm missing something, but like for the most part, like I brought what I needed to succeed and I didn't go overboard. Like when there was food available, like I didn't feel like I needed to scarf. And I just stuck to what I wanted. So I don't know. Did
Good.
I answer your question?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I was saying, I just figure like explaining to people why we choose to pack the things we choose to pack and what they're doing for us. Like you mentioned, you packed an avocado because healthy fat is good for us. It helps support our hormone production. So having that on hand, I actually traveled when we went out to Las Vegas for the F1 race. I traveled with packs of extra virgin olive oil
Yeah.
that were, they were cold pressed, they were first press, they were little packets. I brought those with me. I brought that one I did bring some protein powder and some Keon powder with me, and of course all of my stuff for my morning. But I had those and I had little packets of apple cider vinegar with the mother in them
Yeah.
that I brought with me as well. And I was able to use those to make sure that I was getting my healthy fat. And it's, it can be a little bit tricky because when you're somewhere where you're not in control of the food, there's fat in there. So you don't want to add more and more and more fat to your food,
Right.
but we know that we want to get that healthy fat at a minimum first thing in the morning so that our hormones have something to use. So I used like, we went downstairs there was like a whatever fake Starbucks kind of thing in the basement. And I went down there and got the little egg bites, and then I was able to drizzle those with the extra virgin olive oil and then a little bit of salt, as opposed to using, the little pats of butter that they had, calling it a whatever fat. I would rather go with like, okay, I know this is a clean, healthy fat choice. So those were some of the things I packed. I did try to pack these protein bars that sucked. They were so bad. They
I
were
I
they
struggle
were
with
just
protein
awful.
bars.
What's that?
I struggle with protein bars. I haven't
Because
found a
most of
good
them
one.
are shit.
Yeah, I have
They
not
are.
found a good one that I trust or that actually fills me up. It makes me actually hungrier because of the amount of fake artificial sugars that are in them.
So there's a local protein bar, Reframe protein bars, that she's pretty diligent about making sure she's not using things that are going to unintentionally spike. Like, people look at a label and be like, that looks great, there's zero sugar, but there's all sorts of shit in there that's mimicking the sugar and that your body is going to react to and not be able to process quite the same way. So she, her choices for sugars are like date syrup and things like that. Um, and I do like those, but I will tell you, I spent some time in Victor AI and I was trying to figure out like which were the cleanest protein bars. And so I set my parameters. I wanted it to be a whey protein because it's bioavailable. I wanted it to have a minimum of 20 grams of protein. I wanted it not to have artificial sweeteners, no gum fillers, and no seed oils. It came back with like one bar.
Yeah. Was it the RX bar that's with like filled with eggs?
No, it was the I think the brand was called Marigold,
Oh,
which
no.
I've never heard of, but it's like some itty bitty boutique brand that is on the expensive side.
Mhm.
However, it was the only bar that checked all the boxes from, wherever Victor scrapes his information from. So then I changed the parameters of my search to say, okay, it doesn't just have to be a whey protein, but if it is anything else, it has to be a blend. But I didn't want any casein in it because that can upset GI. So I put that little caveat in there and I moved down the grams of protein to, I think I said like 18. I was trying to like, okay, let me back it off a little bit.
Yeah.
And it still, the amount of what it turned over back to me was just so shockingly low. And it was a good deep dive. Like it told me, okay, this is the one that hit your parameters. This is one that you might still be okay looking at. These are the ones that we did not choose. Like it really did give me a thorough look at all of it.
Yeah.
But this is one of the most common things when clients are like, hey, can you look at this label? So what just, for everybody who's listening, what I would be looking for if someone asked me to look at a label of something like a protein bar is the amount of protein in it
Yeah.
and then the ingredients that are in it and what they look like. If it's full of artificial sweeteners, if it's full of gum fillers, if it's full of a crappy version of protein, I'm going to look at all of those things. Even if it's a blend of protein, what are they blending it with? Is
Mhm.
any of it going to cause GI distress? How much of it is bioavailable? What is actually what am I going to get out of that bar? Because most of them are candy bars that someone threw protein in.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's terrible.
Yeah. The sugar alcohols, all the fake
Yeah,
ingredients, absolutely. And what will be the glycemic index that happens with that? You make some really good points with that. But then, even like bringing it down a level is like, what's the calorie count on that for the amount of protein you're getting?
sure.
Because
Yeah.
the more they fill it in to make it look good. I was standing at the grocery store like a month ago, and how you're standing in line and there's all that shit that surrounds you
Mhm.
because you're starving leaving there. I'll just grab something for the ride home.
Of course.
They had these birthday protein bars that looked like those goddamn Christmas, what are those little Debbie things or whatever they were, and they were just like so fancy and pink and blue and like
Mhm.
zero sugars, and they were just like blasting how good this protein was for you. And you pick it up, and the ingredient list is like this long.
Huh.
So, like, if I love your review, but I usually just look at the ingredient list, and if there's more than six or seven, I'm putting it down. Like, because there's just like I like that Whole Foods approach. Like,
Yeah.
I like that's why I really, yeah, it's it just makes Matt gets so mad at me when I'm in the grocery store. So I've had to dumb it down. I'm like, oh nope, keep going because he's like, are you done reading labels? I was like, it's important to me
Mhm. It
and for
really
you.
is. I
Yeah.
mean, I stood in the grocery store today with two different tortilla brands,
Oh,
and all that was screaming in the back of my head was just go to Sprout where they have the ones made with avocado oil. Just quit around. Like stop. And I still stood there with the two brands and all the ingredients, knowing I'm gonna find a seed oil, knowing I'm gonna find some BS chemical something or another. And I'm like, why am I wasting my own time?
yeah, for
I
sure.
know there's a brand, Coyote, I don't know how they pronounce it, but it's like coyote, but it's not. Anyway, they have like four ingredients. It's
Oh,
like cassava flour, oil, water, salt, something.
do you
Uh,
know you can make them from sourdough?
yes.
I
So
haven't done
that
it though, but I'm
that
just
might be my adventure this weekend is attempting because I have my discard jar is get so you asked me about sourdough the other day and I told you about Sloppity the starter. because Danny's so pissed off.
Why?
Danny, so you gotta understand, Danny loves like he makes the pasta, he makes the bread, like things that require measuring, my husband is really, really good at.
Mhm.
I am the Swedish chef. So he's so irritated because I have Sloppity the starter that like I'll just pull it out of the refrigerator and be like, "You look hungry, little fella," and I throw some flour and some water and then I stir it and I put it away and he's like,
Just a little.
so he has his like pristine little starter and he uses it the right way and does the right things, and I have Sloppity. And so my plan, bagels with Sloppity and they worked out, and my plan is to try tortillas. I did make crackers and that was super easy. You just spread the, Sloppity and bake them. I'm
Yeah.
happy. But yeah, so I have plans to try the tortillas, but I really did like the whatever it's called, Coyotes, I think. And they have great customer service. I had an issue with a pack and they immediately sent me a whole like duplication of my order, which
Oh,
was awesome. And now I can find them at Sprout, so I don't necessarily have to order them if I don't want to. But for ingredients, and I'm like, why are you standing in this aisle reading these packages of what you know is crap
yeah.
when you could just get the ones that are better for you? And it's not a waste of your time to read the labels. I know it can make the grocery store tedious. By the way, hats off to Matt. He goes to the grocery store with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got married and Danny doesn't know where the grocery store is.
Oh, well.
Like that was on his list of like as he says in the wedding contract, he's like, yeah, I'm not going there. He hates the grocery store.
Yeah.
I love the grocery store.
Yeah.
It's like a creative outlet.
Yeah, yeah. We are so limited for where we live. I wish
Ah,
we had more organic options. I wish we had a Sprouts. Like we have one grocery store and it's about 15 minutes that way. And then we have the little IGA that's in town that's just like if you're desperate. But like if we want a good organic selection, then we have to go to Saratoga, which is 45 minutes. So, but
wow.
yeah. But we make do. We're getting our garden ready, so like this summer we'll eat fresh from home a lot. So but yeah, but no, Matt's really good about it. He does the majority of the cooking. I
Okay.
I have to sit back and critique. So you were talking about Victor, your AI. I just want to like I love that you have a name for yours. I really need to name mine.
No, I don't. I didn't name him. He came with the name through whatever he is. Like he came with his name. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I
I
love that.
wish I could take credit for that because Victor's kind of a very serious, stuffy, sort of buttoned up name for an AI. So I wish I could take credit for being clever like that, but no.
So I have done my nameless AI the other day, and I said, we want to make stir fry at home, but we don't have any gluten-free toppings, like the sauce to go with it. Can you help me whip up one? And sure as shit, it just like ding, 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 ding. So I use some coconut aminos, I use some maple syrup, I use some lemon juice, no, excuse me, lime juice, some ginger, and there was something else that I don't remember. No, maybe it was just that. Oh, garlic.
There you go.
And I just like, and Matt's like, you just made that? I'm like, yeah, I'm good like that. Like,
Good.
no, so it's like, just trying to like, just you like, first of all, AI is amazing if you're like starting out with a health journey. Like, I wouldn't rely on like supplements and like health diagnosis, but like, even like logging foods and like, hey, help me find my macros or something like that. Like, as long as you have somebody double check it. I mean, I just think that there's so much use for it that way, as long as you're being guided. Like meals, like sometimes if I'm just like curious, because I had some bagels this morning. They were gluten free, but I had some bagels this morning. I'm like, I feel like this isn't healthy enough. Like I'm not getting enough protein. So I just like snapped at a shot of everything that I had. They're like, no, you're good. Like you've got your fat, you got your protein, you got your carbs. You're good. Like, oh, okay, thank you. Like it was just like, I mean, I do this for a living, but sometimes like if I feel like I'm going rogue, I can just have it like turn me back in. Like, no, girl, you need those carbs. Your thyroid needs that. So it's like,
Yeah.
hey, thank you. So yeah.
Yes, and that's such a pitfall. People get so like carbophobic and it's like your body needs it, your brain
Yeah.
needs it. Like we can't, I mean, I understand there's someone out there doing keto who just disconnected from the call because they're pissed now. Fine.
Yeah.
Um, but
Drink water. That's all I have to yell at those keto people. Drink water.
like we need carbs if we are active people. And when I say carbs, I'm not saying like you gotta pick up some potato bread and take down a loaf of it. I'm just saying like rice, beans, potatoes, like whole food carbs are not our enemy. Sourdough bread is not our enemy. Really, no bread is. Some are better options than others. Obviously, just like we talked about the protein bars, like look at the ingredients and see if a product is made from shit, the product is shit. But there are plenty of options out there that are made with less ingredients. They are whole foods. And again, we go back to like where we started at the very beginning of the call. If you eat something that you feel like might be a little bit heavy or might be a little, off balance between your macros, then make sure you move your ass when you're done. Just get up and go for a walk because
Yeah.
your body, quads love carbs. Your body is going to be like, yum, carbs, let's do the thing. Drop some squats. Get at it, girl. Like,
Yeah.
that's just an easy way that you can tell your body, like, this food is fuel. Do
Yeah.
something with it.
Yeah, this winter, living where we do, like it was freaking cold and we had so much snow. I'm sure you did too, but um,
Yours was next level.
yeah, it was pretty epic. And but it is the middle of May and our heat is still on, which is crap. Um, but anyways, I would get on the vibration pad. If I
Yeah.
couldn't, like, if I got tired of walking laps around the house or walking on the treadmill, or if I just had a long nursing day or something, or if I had client calls all day, and if I just like needed to zone out, I'd just get on the vibration pad after eating. Be like, okay, body, vibrate the food where it needs to go. And that
Yeah.
was, just doing something is better than doing nothing.
Absolutely. And vibration plates are amazing for that. They're so good for exactly like if I get home late from work when I am working at the gym at night and I get home later, then I'm eating dinner later, but
Mhm.
I'm still going to bed early because I'm getting up at 4:15 in the morning. So I come home, I have my dinner, and then I go downstairs, I hop on the plate, I let it do its thing, and I'm like, okay, good. Boxes have been checked. I'm not
Right.
going to eat my dinner and go for a walk at 8:30 at night, but I want to start moving through that food so that it doesn't disrupt my sleep.
Can we talk about that for a second? Because that's something I struggle with after a nursing shift. When I've done a 12, Matt likes to wait for me to eat dinner. And I'm like, oh,
Oh,
and that's so sweet. Like, and Jaren too. They're like, oh, I'm like, I don't fucking wanna. Like, I don't wanna, like, if I'm lucky to be done on time, that means I'm out of the hospital like quarter after 7. And then I've got about a 45-minute ride home. I'm lucky to be home around 8 o'clock at night. The last thing I want to do is like sit down and have a big heavy meal. So I've been trying to, so a normal day for me is I get up at 4:30, I get ready, I eat before I leave, do a few laps as I'm like loading up the car, drive to work. I will have one of my, I like not the protein. I like the meat sticks from not Primal Trust. I forgot the name of it. But it's a good healthy one. Like it's gluten-free, it's dairy-free, doesn't have nitrates. And it's just like there's chicken and beef and there's a few other ones. But anyways, I'll have one of those and then I'll have a shake. And I'll do that around like 10:30, 11 o'clock. So by then it's been since what, 5 o'clock till then that I've eaten. So, and then in the shake, it's got protein, it's got spinach, blueberries, some flax to get a little bit of fat. And then I will throw a half avocado in that also, just because I really feel like the fat just helps me throughout the day. And then I will try to eat, if I have a reasonable group, I'll try to eat at the hospital between like 5 and 6. And then I'll just do the typical meal, like sweet potatoes, chicken, and some vegetables or something like that. And I will have like a snack on the way home. I don't know. I think that's a bit of a habit. Like I'll have carrots or like popcorn or something on the way home. But then he wants to have dinner. And I'm like, I've already had my dinner. So sometimes I will skip that 5 o'clock if I know we're doing something. But it's so late. And I just don't think I digest well because then I like wake up puffy and like not good the next day. So any thoughts or suggestions that like I think I'm managing it, but I would love to open it up to another healthcare professional.
so I think the way that you're doing it is great because you are eating what you need to eat. and you're
Yeah.
doing it in the times that feel best for your body. So, I mean, of course, my minor thing is like if you're having that popcorn on the way home, have a fat with it. So it's not just a naked carb. But
Right.
I honestly, like, I would say it's so nice that they wait for you. But
Yeah.
if you could just explain that to them, just be like, love that you wait, like, super cool. I'm not going to be eating when I get home.
Yeah. I
Like,
think I have to
full
continue.
stop.
Yeah. Because like I get so much pushback. It's like, oh, like it's not that I don't want to. It's the hour thing. Like,
Yeah.
but
Well, I'm just explaining the time you have to go to bed and explaining for you how you feel. Like, I would say, I mean, if they feel compelled to wait because it's time you guys sit around and talk together, then you can still join them at the table and sit and talk.
yeah.
But, I mean, maybe if you feel like picking at some vegetables or some salad or something like that, if you've been light on veggies that day, like, cool. But if you feel like you've hit your macros for the day, if you will, and like, full disclosure, I'm not a macro counter. The only macro that I concern myself with really is protein.
Absolutely.
Um, but if you feel like you've hit your grams of protein for the day and you feel like you've gotten your healthy fat in there because you're throwing your avocado in, you're having something in the morning, if you feel like you've done all of it, that's all you need to do.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I think this is a really good example of how your family can like manipulate what your goals are and how you to stand firm on that and
yeah,
yeah, work with it.
yeah.
So
Well, and it's figuring out like it's kind of like the love languages thing. Like, is this that your family is doing this because they're saying, we love you, we waited for you? Is it an act of service for them? So they're just trying to say, I love you. And for you, you might be feeling like, oh my God, if I tell them I don't want to eat with them, it's like, no, don't love me. Like, I reject your love. That's not it. You're just saying, like, hey, I want this time, quality time with you. But like that act, we don't need to do that.
yeah. I will admit though, by the time I get back, I'm like, I won't do anything. I
Well,
don't,
that's fair. I mean, nursing for 12 hours has probably got you at capacity.
I'm like, I don't want to do those dishes. I don't want to look at those dishes. I will
Girl,
listen.
if you haven't been home all day, none of those dishes are your shit. Uh-uh.
I'm not sure. Like, I will listen to you. I'm not sure I will respond. Like, it's coming in and coming out. It's just,
That's
uh,
it.
yeah. Anyways, but yeah. So yeah. Thank you. Thank you for listening to that.
Oh yeah. I will say, I mean, I'm full disclosure again, my nights that I work habits are like not necessarily as buttoned up as I wish they were. I mean, that will be the night if I'm trying to just manage. If I am in like a fat loss phase and I'm trying to manage things, my nighttime meal, I will focus on the veggie and the protein and a fat, but I might pull a carb at night, especially if it's really late because I don't want it to mess with my sleep. So I try not to, I mean, all of my meals are very locked in, but I will take that opportunity to be like, all right, you know what? I know because before I go to work, I will usually have something that has a carb in it, knowing I'm going to work. I'm going to burn through
Right.
that. I'm going to need that energy. Otherwise, I'll be yawning in people's faces and it's really rude. So I will have that before I go. And then I might pull that carb at night just to help myself sleep better because I am very, very aware of how too many carbs in the PM can really jack my sleep up.
Yeah.
I also do, this is really bad, but I also tend to, when I get home, everybody else is in the living room and they're watching TV. And so sometimes I'll grab my iPad and I'll kind of like scroll through things while I'm sitting there eating my dinner, which is not a great habit because it's too late for me to have a screen in front of my face. Like, that blue light's not doing me any favors. It's also when I'm sitting there multitasking like that, I'm not giving my body the chance to really get into rest and digest. So I'm kind of like keeping it stimulated, keeping it in a little bit of that, like, it's the freaking internet. Who knows what's going to come up? So like, there's a little bit of that fight or flight that's still in me. So my nights that I work, I could definitely stand to improve some. I know better, but I could stand to improve some of my habits. But it's so hard when you've been on for hours in a row and then you come home and you just want to like
So,
brain melt, zone out, not think. Um,
For
And
sure.
sometimes that I'm just kind of hiding in the kitchen for a little bit longer before my family needs me to do something for them.
Yeah. No, I get that. But there one thing that you said that like, and I don't want to harp on it, but at the same time, like that eating while multitasking, like it's not just while scrolling. It's while reading, listening to the news, while driving. Like,
Everything. Yeah.
it can happen without you. It's like autopilot. So it's so good that you recognized it. Like
Yeah.
that's like some people will tell me, "Well, I just eat with the TV on." It's like, "Okay, but then you've eaten what you've eaten and now you're telling me you're still hungry. Do you even remember what you were eating because you were too busy focusing on something like that?" Like you're
Yeah.
not giving your body the opportunity to like take care of what it has in front of it. So
Yeah.
that was a really good point to hit on.
Well, and even mindfulness, like when you're sitting there eating, and to your point, do you remember what you just ate? If you don't, you probably don't. Like, did you taste it? Did you experience it? You probably took the time to make it. Do you even know like what the flavors were? And did you chew it?
Yeah, that's what I was like screaming that in my head. Like I,
Yeah.
I said something to my son the other day. I'm like, do you chew your food and like do you chew it in your mouth and before you swallow it? Is it the baby food consistency? And he just looked at me and was like, Mom, are you okay? Do you do that? I'm like, I
I
try.
try. But I feel like, dude, I feel like if you just think about it, like twice during every meal, you're already doing better than most of the world.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Have you ever tried to put your fork down in between bites?
Mm.
It's like the hardest thing. And then just like, I will look at the clock and be like, okay, I have 10 minutes to do this. Just take my time. Like, and just,
Yeah.
it's like a
Yeah.
game that I play with myself that nobody else is aware of, but it matters. And you slow down and you won't have to eat as much. I mean, I will tell you that I went through a phase throughout, all of my yo-yo dieting, everything like that consuming enough food was hard for me. That whole under eating, it's unbelievable the amount of people who are under eating and not getting enough of the right food.
Oh, girl, we don't even have enough time left in this hour for that. That
I
iceberg's got to
know,
be next time. That's a huge,
oh, but
oh,
it's so
oh,
real.
it is so real.
It's like a flip of the coin. You could be mindlessly eating while you're sitting there watching Jerry Springer, whatever the hell you're watching. Which, by the way, I
It's
can't I can't listen to like Judge Judy. Even when I'm at work, I'm like, I can feel like my shoulders like tense. I'm like, can you shut that off? But it's so amazing how everyone's nervous system just has like twitches. But yeah, I don't even like, you could go from overeating mindlessly to not eating enough mindlessly because you have fear of food, fear of weight gain, fear of like it could just keep cycling and circling. So
Yeah, 100%. Well, and we of course grew up in that like 1,000 calorie generation. 1,000 to 1,200 calories is like where you're supposed to live. And there's so much information out there about how that's not serving, especially active women. Like there's no way that there's enough in there. And it does affect everything. I mean, it affects, we're already going through perimenopause. Shit's already hitting the fan. And now we're not even giving our body enough fuel to run on top of it. But people, it's that badge of honor, like, oh, I'm just not going to eat because I'm not hungry. That's not good, dude. You don't want to not be hungry. Granted, your hunger cues are going to be jacked up during this time of life,
yeah.
but you want to be feeling proper hunger cues, conditioning your body to trust you to
Right.
fuel it throughout the day. Otherwise, the system breaks down. And when it breaks down hard and fast.
So let's spin off of that because that is absolutely perfect for the thought that I was having up. Is if you're not hungry when you wake up, like that is a sure sign that you have cortisol issues. Like it's like a screaming red flag, like absolutely. But like not having hunger cues throughout the day, what would you say about that? Like, would you say cortisol all day long, or would you say what would you go with from
Yeah,
there?
so I mean, ghrelin and leptin are jacked during this time. Like, our hunger cues, what tells us that we're hungry and what tells us that we're full, they're all struggling because of hormonal imbalance. And there's just dysregulation in our blood sugar. And that's going to make us question whether or not we're really hungry. We're
Yeah.
going to be in a situation where we're constantly feeling, an up and a down and an up and a down, as opposed to getting ourselves in a situation where blood sugar is doing this nice little wave. We're on this freaking roller coaster.
Yeah.
And it's, feeling not hungry all day is just information that your body is not running efficiently.
Yeah.
Your body can't do anything when it's in a stress state except survive.
Yeah.
And we are all, or have all, or bless you if you have not, been in a place where we're like, I'm just surviving. I feel like a ghost in all of it. I feel like I'm not connected to my work. I'm not connected to my family. I'm not connected to my friends. I'm not connected to my moods. Like I am a fucking passenger.
Yeah.
I'm not driving any of this. And I think part of that, if not a very large part of that, has to do with the fact that we are not getting our body out of the cortisol spike. We're not getting our body to a place where it feels safe and taken care of. And food is a non negotiable in regulating your body's safety, if you will.
Yeah.
It is a basic instinct. We need it. Our every cell in our human being needs nutrition. So if we are messing with that constantly, oh, I'm not hungry. Oh, I had a big breakfast, so I'm not going to eat until fucking Wednesday. Like that's not that's not good. That's not a badge of honor. That is a badge of severe dysregulation in your body.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I remember like, I don't know, like 3, 4 years ago, I was trying to do 16-hour fasts. And like they were like everybody was raving about it. And I'm like at the brink of perimenopause. And I'm like, it's just I'm doing it. I can go 20 hours. Like, but I feel like absolute shit. I'm like, yeah, I can hit that 20-hour mark.
Psychopath.
What's that?
You feel like a psychopath.
Oh yeah, like I'm like, okay, but I stopped sweating, I stopped eating, I'm only eating for 4 hours. Like I'm getting less than 1,000 calories. This should be good. And then everything just like slowly starts to shut down. And when everything slowly starts to shut down, it's not just the nutrients and the cortisol and the hormones, it's also your nervous system. And I don't know about you, but I think getting your nervous system on board is like probably just as hard as reintroducing food. Like it's just
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. And you know what? Truthfully, I think part of the reason why it's so hard is because people think it's woo-woo.
Oh yeah. No.
Take care of your nervous system. People think there's that what we mean when we say that is like, curl up under a blankie and drink warm tea.
And
That's
then
not
you get
it. I
high.
mean, that might help. It sounds awesome. I would love to do that right now.
Yeah.
But it's taking care of your nervous system is like internal health care.
Yeah.
It's like you are the only person that is in this body, and when it's throwing flags. When your mind feels like you're not connecting your thoughts, like you can't come up with the right words, when your hands feel a little jittery, when you can't tell if you're hungry or not, when you feel like you're just going through the motions of everything, kind of teetering on the edge of like, am I good? You're not good.
Right.
Just taking care of your nervous system is like knowing how to breathe properly.
Mhm.
I mean, just knowing how to freaking breathe so that you can say to yourself, oh, I have time to do this.
Yeah.
I have mental clarity to do this. I can regulate my own nervous system simply through breathing. It's not just to regulate your nervous system. Like you don't have to go, to a retreat and, spend hours and thousands of dollars and all the things. You just need to take a freaking deep breath.
Right.
Sometimes that's all your body needs is a signal from you to say, we're okay.
Yeah. I think one of the most painful things I ever heard from a coach is that your body doesn't feel safe to release anything. And I was like, well, fucking make it feel safe then. Like,
Do it.
because I'm like
Make it happen.
doing all of these things, and I'm like, and it's like, it's not a flip of the switch. That's pretty much what I'm getting
No.
at. But I have to tell you, I really was flipping my switch when I heard that. It's like that that sentence wasn't helpful for me. Like, I get what you were saying, but
there
Like,
was no instruction in it. Whereas, maybe if that person had said to you, like, hey, listen, you're making great meals and you want your body to be able to appreciate that nutrition. So I need you to take 3 deep breaths before every meal.
right. That would have gone so much better than your body. Okay. So,
Like, okay, well, I mean, I am kind of holding it hostage, so I get it, but
oh my
like,
God.
what are you gonna do with it? But like,
Yeah.
you need small, actionable things. You
Yeah.
need something someone can tell you that's like, hey, there's a huge mountain, but like, first of all, let's like get you to put your boots on. Take a deep breath before you eat.
Yeah.
Start there.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh my God. I did make a note throughout all of this. Did you have anything you wanted to add that to the whole mountain thing?
no, I mean, listen, I could talk for
I know. I love it.
so very, very long about like why nothing works if you're in fight or flight all the time.
Yeah.
Like it's
How about when you know you're not in it? How do you know? For the other people, like what is that sense for you? Like what do you feel like?
that's a really good question. So, I think that when you're starting out trying to tap into this, what does it mean? I think that it's easier to notice the absence of the chaos than it is the influx of the calmness,
Yeah.
for me at least. So the absence of some of the chaos for me would feel more like in the moment some mental clarity, just like I feel like I actually like am here looking at whatever I'm looking at. I'm present would be probably start of it. My other thing would be like, that low level feeling of anxiety, like something's kind of always whirling around back here and you're not like, yeah, you're not like, completely, again, it goes back to like completely present because you're like something's always kind of itching the back of your mind. Breathing rate, heart rate, just noticing that those things are more normal. Sometimes, I'll skid in and I'll be like, oh, I just made all this lunch. Oh, I'm sitting down to eat. And it's like, you notice your breathing is faster, your heart rate is higher. So noticing when it's not, when it's lower, noticing that you're literally intentionally. And sometimes it is intentionally just sitting there being like, okay, I'm just going to like relax my body from my eyeballs into my jaw, into my shoulders, get them away from my ears, bring them down here, take a nice big breath. I really do think taking the breath from like your chest, your ribs, and your belly, just acknowledging that you can take 3 different breaths that way is important, but like almost talking yourself down from the anxious feelings that you have.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would say it's probably fairly infrequent that I'm like, oh, I feel totally calm and relaxed. But I will say, it is probably more frequent that I will feel like I don't have the symptoms that tell me that I'm not calm and relaxed.
Yeah, that's where I was gonna go with if yeah. So for me, it's that sense that it's okay to rest. Like I have that people pleasing. I feel like everything has to be done. Like I feel like, house has to be clean before I can sit down, no dishes and think like for me it's like fuck it. Like I'm just gonna sit here and take a break and I'm gonna be okay with it. Like that was
Yeah.
huge for me to get there. But
Yeah.
then there's like the other things with like the nervous system for me is like, okay, my body finally felt good enough to start sweating. Like awesome, huge for me. How about the fact that like I finally have learned to enjoy meditating, which I'm coming back to my question that I have written down. How is your journaling going?
So my journaling is evolving.
Okay, perfect.
It's yes, it is a little bit more of like um just like list, like just regurgitating of things that are in my brain. I can't say it is definitely not gratitude journaling. That is not where I'm at right now. It is journaling of like, get it out of here. Brain's not meant for storage, it's meant for creativity. Get it out and put it somewhere.
Yeah.
And it has been good. I've been waking up in the morning and I'm like, okay, just grab the pages. It doesn't matter what you're putting in my handwriting. I don't think someone could read it if they wanted to snoop on whatever I'm writing. It's so bad
Yeah.
because I'm just like, just write it down, just like get it out. So my handwriting, I mean, it's probably like I'm probably not spelling anything correctly. The letters are certainly all junctified. Like nothing is great about this. So, like I said, even if I was writing something about someone, they probably couldn't decode it if they wanted to. But I'm not there yet. It's not an emotional journal yet. It is a tactical journal.
Perfect. As
So
long as it'll get there, but it's long as you feel release with it, that's what matters.
that's what I keep telling myself. I feel like it comes out and then it lives there. It doesn't live here. And that has been really lovely. So I'm not in a place where I'm going to go back and read this journal and be like, oh, past me. I'm going to go back and look at it and be like, "Ooh, look at all those things you checked off."
Great.
But that's okay. That's okay.
I like to look at it like burn, bitch, and then throw it in the fire. I'm a
Yeah.
little woo that way, so
Yeah.
no. Yeah.
That's good though. That
Yeah.
helps. Get rid of it.
Yeah, right. I was just thinking more about the nervous system stuff, like the journaling. I'm sorry to go on a tangent with that, but like
No, no, no.
having that release and having that time and making that time for yourself is just like that for me, that is like I always thought this kind of stuff was woo, but as soon as I started and I established it, it's like now it's an actual ritual. And I actually had to go a few days without doing it because unfortunately I can't do it on my nursing days. And
Yeah.
I can tell in my mood, and like you were talking about with the shoulders, like I can feel better on the days that I get to journal and yoga and do those kind of
Good.
things. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, to your point about giving yourself permission to like, no, I am gonna go sit on the couch. Like I am gonna do that. The other day, I had said to my husband, I was like going to bed at night, and Liam always has practice by the library on Tuesdays for baseball. And I had gotten a book out on Tuesday, and it was like, I guess Monday night, and that's a work night for me. So I do get home late, but generally speaking, I'll get home late, I'll eat, I'll, hit the vibration plate or take a couple laps around the house. And then I pretty much go upstairs and, wash my face, put on my pajamas. Sometimes I come back down, but a lot of times I just stay up there. I'm going to read because I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
And so I was reading, and my husband came in, and I was like, I really wanted to finish this book so that I could return it to the library tomorrow, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Well, then Tuesday, I work in the morning and then I have a group coaching call. And then it was like probably like 45 at that point. And I was like, you know what? It was beautiful out. I'm going to go grab my book. I'm going to put on a pair of shorts. I'm going to go sit outside. I'm going to finish this damn book. And I just told myself that's what I was going to do.
Awesome.
And it's sort of really terrible that felt like something I needed to give myself permission to do. But it is also the position that we put ourselves in a lot of the time, which is like, there's other stuff you should be doing. There's other stuff you could be doing, but I was like, I'm going to finish the book. I'm going to get to return it to the library. I'm going to get some vitamin D. I'm going to breathe. I'm going to bring my water outside and hydrate. Like, this is healthy. So, what else should I be doing except giving myself an hour to just take care of myself before then, everybody gets home from school and we've got baseball and we've got dinner and we've got all the things. It was just more take some time, take a deep breath, let yourself relax. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally appreciate that. Yes. Yeah. Last night I got home, we had dinner. Yesterday was a shorter nursing day, but I just like relaxed and I was reading and had a good night's sleep and my aura ring. I was going to ask you, did you cave yet? No. So my aura ring told me this morning, well, like whatever you did last night was good for you. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna rest more often. But it's interesting how the feedback of our wearables can help encourage that. So
That's bizarre. Did I ever tell you this story about my HRV at all?
Mhm.
So my heart rate variability.
Yeah.
I I was starting to feel I was just starting to notice more like stress signals from my body, more of those like sort of anxious feelings. And I was trying to figure out like where my unrest was coming from. And I realized part of my unrest, it comes from like not being aligned with my family's schedule. So, not being aligned with my kids' schedule or not being aligned with my husband's schedule, I get very like, because ideally, if I have time and availability, those are the people I want to be spending my time with and sharing my availability with. And so when it's in opposition, I notice that I start to feel stress in my body, but I'm like, it took me a while to realize that that's what it was, that it was when my schedule was off from my family. But at this time where I was starting to feel, the stress and whatever, I was like, well, let's see what my HRV is. So I went in and it was like not awesome. It was like, a high 30s, low 40s, nothing great. Um, but then I started to go back in the data and be like, oh gosh, that day it was like 97. That day it was 103. I went back and looked where I was on those days, my kid's school concert, my husband's Christmas party. The three of us were driving up to Massachusetts, the four of us, the three of them and myself driving up to Massachusetts to take a long weekend. The days that my heart rate variability was so strong were days where my schedule was aligned with my family. And I was like, wow.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So to your point, that wearable tech, I mean, I can also speak in the opposite direction of it. This is why I haven't pulled the trigger on the ring yet because I'm like pragmatic to an obnoxious place. And and like you don't know that about me already, but it's the truth. And so I part of my pragmatism is holding me back because I'm like, no shit, you went upstairs and took some time and took a breath and it was good for you and your ring told you that it was good for you. You know it's good for you. So then I start to wonder like how much are we discounting our own thoughts and waiting for validation from something else, which it goes into like even some of the AI things that are sort of frightening to me, where like you ask AI, in this case, like I'll ask Victor a question, he'll be like, that was such a great question. And I'm like, oh, look at this mood boost. And then I'm like, oh, this is so artificial. It's so creepy.
You got a
So
dopamine hit from an AI. I love
yes, like it's kind of creepy. And so
that.
then I'm like, I don't know. I go down all these little rabbit holes of like a friend said to me the other day, like, I just feel like I'm fighting something. I'm not feeling great. And then the next day she woke up and her aura ring confirmed that, like, yeah, you've got, symptoms of something coming your way, some stress coming your way. And she's like, see, I knew it. And I'm like, see, you knew it. Why'd you need the ring to tell you? You knew, like, so that's where my pragmatism gets in the way. And that's why I'm struggling because there are things that I want to know from it. But then I'm like, do I
Yeah.
need the ring to tell me or do I know?
Who is it? Dr. Stacy Sims. She is one that is like she doesn't. If I remember correctly, I forget the name of the book that she wrote, but I don't think she's a fan of certain wearables because of that. She does like she still wants you up and moving, even though it says you're coming down with something. Doesn't mean you can't move your legs, like move your ass. So there is that benefit or the pro and cons with it.
Yes, yes.
Um,
There's a lot of pros.
yeah,
It just, if you go down an obnoxious, pragmatic
yeah.
rabbit hole, you can come up with a lot of cons too.
Yeah. No, absolutely, absolutely. But like, I was resistant at first, but then, once I gave it a shot, I was like, oh wow, there's actually some really good biofeedback that I needed to help me to where I was going with it. So,
Yeah,
um,
and I do think I have several friends that wear them, and I think there's a lot of valuable things they've both learned. And one of them is super, super knowledgeable. She's just someone who like she thrives on data and information, and she actions on it. She dives deep into it. Like she really utilizes it, but as a catalyst to then go learn,
yeah,
not as like it told me this and that's the end of the story. She's like, it told me this. What does that mean and why? And how can I edit? And if it's something I want to change, how do I change it? If it's something I want to encourage, how do I do more of it? Like she's very like that. And I have another person who is she's coming out of a lot of extenuating circumstances. And so I think the Aura Ring is helping her right now with confirming that she's moving in the right direction. It's acting like a little personal cheerleader for her. And I think that's so lovely. So, like I said, the two sides of my brain are at war over this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do, as with anything, I think there are a lot of benefits to it. And I think that there are some potential drawbacks, but there's a lot to be said for who you are and how you use something. So,
Yeah. I don't remember who said it to me, but maybe it was in one of the FDN chats. But they pretty much said with the Aura Ring, like, I don't get up and look at it first thing in the morning. I'm not going to let it determine what my day is going to be like.
see, and that's a smart user.
Yeah, like that is valuable. That is something like, yeah. So yeah. There's many different. I do want to go back to the HRV thing. That I could use some more education on. So maybe if we just like put it on like our paper to remember and things to
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
about.
yeah. Yeah.
So like I know like I get the benefit of it, I get it, but I don't know like the deep dive on it. And I thought because of where we were with our cycles and that we were the perimenopause stage, that I thought from what I've understood, I thought like 40 to 60 was okay. Like I thought that was normal for us, like to be
Yeah. You're right. Between 40 and 60 would be okay. I would like it to be, closer to the 60. I was really closer to like between the 38 and the 43 is kind of like where I was living. So
yeah.
let's call that a 40 average. So I'm just barely like in the cusp of minimum acceptability. So I would just like it to be a little bit higher just to show myself that I'm making progress in the direction I want to make progress in.
Yeah. If I were like, not sure who is like watching or listening, but if you're a beginner, that's not something I would start with. That is like far from. So,
Yeah.
that's the advance, like when you have nailed the foundation, that's something that you start working with. So,
Sure. Yeah. And there's also two very different schools of thought with, whether you're looking at it from a parasympathetic lens or you're looking at it from an exercise performance lens.
yeah.
You're gonna, sort of interpret that a little bit differently. So I was just, for me, looking at it as like, when was it high and what was I doing in those moments? I know that, exercise is going to affect it. And I know that there's a couple other things that are going to all play into like, if you wanted to dive into what's his name, like Joel Jameson or Jameson. He's like big into looking at how that applies to exercise physiology and performance.
Mhm.
That's not really where I personally am taking it, even though obviously being a personal trainer, that
Yeah.
is interesting.
Yeah.
But I was looking at it from like a mental health standpoint.
Yeah. 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 I mean, that's half of the being at this stage. The mental game is half the game. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So.
Probably even more.
Yeah, 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 definitely. Alrighty, love. We are past the hour mark.
Oh my goodness.
Do you have kids that you need to get? Because my
Oh,
kid's on his way home.
more importantly, I just need to shower.
Oh, okay. You can go do that.
I'm gonna do that, and then tomorrow I'm gonna get my hair cut, and I just have to figure out where I'm gonna take my hair out tomorrow night. It's probably the baseball field because I'm sure one of my kids has a game, but still.
Yeah. Oh my God. It'll look great. I got my certificate. I'm gonna post my picture of it later.
Yeah, do that. That was so, what did you say, 12?
12 inches.
Oh, that's beautiful. Good for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyways, alrighty, love. It was so good to see you. Thank you
me
again for being
too.
with me. And I'm going to make a few notes after this so that we can hit up on a few things that we talked about. And then next time, because we didn't do it, about the who we are and what we do.
Oh,
I
yes.
know you were supposed to go first.
I'll keep that in mind.
All right. I will talk to you soon. We will
All
hopefully see
right.
you again
See ya.
next.
Have a great weekend.
Thanks, babe. You too.
Hey, and congrats to your son.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
See ya.
All right, talk to you later.